So a quick story. I have a client, and she tells me, Nicole, I believe I have one of those dreams you talk about. I said, well, what's the dream? She says, I feel like I need to give birth to this book. You know, it's in here. I really feel like I need to get these words written down on a page. And I said, here's the deal. I cannot give you a literary epidural, but what I can do is I can hold you accountable for getting words on a page, and I promise that I'll read them. She says, that's what I need. I need just somebody to make sure my fanny gets in the chair and I spend the time and the energy to get the words out. So I can do that. So we get on the phone and we're coaching along, and here's my gift to the world is I have ideas. I got 101 of them. You tell me something you want to do, I'm like, I have an idea. And so I said, Beth, I have an idea for you. Now here's the thing about ideas, is that you have to ask permission to give them. Now that is coaching technique. So write that down on the side margin. If you have an idea, ask permission to give it, because here's what we do. I go up to Kelly, hey Kelly, you know what you ought to do? Is she gonna listen to me? No, I say, Kelly, I've been observing you. I have an idea. Would you like to hear it? Slows me down, slows her down. She's going to say, what? Yes. And then it's pure gift. You know, take it or leave it. It's up to you. So I do the same thing with my client. I say, I have an idea for you. Would you like it? She says, yes, like that. I say, you could do this or this with the book. She says, oh my goodness, Nicole, I don't know. If I did that, that would be hard. I said, well, you could do it like this. You could do it like that. She says, I don't know. Well, we coach along, we get to another point. I get another idea. Beth, would you like my idea? She says, yes. I say, here's the idea. She says, I don't know. That would be hard. And it keeps going on and on and on. Now, side note, stepping out of the story for just a second, notice below your comfort zone and your learning zone are two things that impact how you show up in the world. How you feel and the environment around you. So like you being here today, this is a very good environment to be in, correct? You are doing good things for your life being in this environment. Now, feelings will get in the way. So quickly, let's talk about the feeling scale. Coaching technique, again, you can use this with your husband, your children, your family, your people at work. At the top of the feeling scale is the best feeling in the world. Keep it clean. What do you think the best feeling in the world is? What? Love. Okay, love will lead to this. It's actually what? Accomplishment? Joy. It's higher than joy. It's euphoria.
Satisfaction.
Yeah, it's euphoria. I mean, have you ever felt euphoric? I mean, like, it's like Johnny when he finally turned his head and looked at what he really wanted, it did what? Took his breath away. When you're at euphoria, you don't even have any words. It's just, it's all I ever wanted. Now, at the bottom of the feeling scale is another feeling. And that feeling is the worst feeling in the world. And it's suicidal. And if you've ever been around that, that is one of the most awful things you'll ever witness in your life. Now, here in the South, we have a habit, number 2, that we have. I walk in, I go to work, I come to the networking thing. My feelings are all out of whack. I walk up, hey, how you doing? I'm
Fine.
fine. And then you say,
How are you?
I'm fine. Now, where is fine on the feeling scale? Closer to euphoric or suicidal? It's closer to suicidal, all right? And we're all walking around fine. Pay attention to where you are on the feeling scale. So I noticed that my client is closer to suicidal about this book, right? Like you take on something big and you go, just kill me now. Okay, I can't do this any longer. It's too much. It's too big. It's an obstacle I can't overcome. And so I think to myself, you leave people better than you found them. So I say, hey, before we hang up, I want to ask you a question. How are your daughters? Immediately where? Euphoric. Because what turns this woman on? What's the book about? It's about child rearing. I said, how are your daughters? She says, oh, they're doing great. I said, oh, tell me more. Trying to get her up. She says, oh, well, Rachel's going to get her first apartment. Girls, do you remember your first apartment? Haagen-Dazs. On the couch for dinner. I mean, it was good, right? And so we're in our first apartment. I'm there immediately. I'm euphoric just thinking about this chick having her apartment. I wonder if I can get the address. But anyway, so I said, well, tell me about that. She said, well, I told her she was going to have to be careful living on her own, that it was going to be hard for her to find a roommate. She needed to be careful. Okay, so here is the lesson. Don't miss this. What does Beth believe about this book and life? It's hard. It's hard. Now, I double dare you to go out the door today and just before the time you put your head on the pillow at night, keep track of how many times people tell you things are going to be hard before they have even tried them. Right? And so that's the belief system that I'm talking about. You know, like if I think I can do things, I can do things. And you know, that's really important. So those are beliefs. All right, now, the next thing is habits, and we're going to get to that in a minute, but human traits. Now, inside of your folder, you will notice there are 4 postcard-sized pieces of paper. So I'm going to do a quick teaching on your communication and personality style. Now, I really believe that this is very, very important to your success in business, is understanding how you show up. Now, there are 4 different personality profiles in here. The first one is Earth. Now, again, I want you to think about your physical form because this physical body, this spiritual body, this intellectual body, and emotional body is really at play in your everyday work. So if I talk about my physical form, how do I have Earth in my physical form? In my skin and my bones. How do I have Earth inside of me?
Maybe your skin.
Okay, every morning I get up, I take my one a day with its vitamins and
Minerals.
right. And so what's the number 1 mineral I have inside of me?
Water.
What?
Oh, minerals.
Calcium, right? Okay, and so I'm all my bones, right? And so you have Earth inside your physical form. I also have water in my physical form. Like if I do not drink water, I'm going to check out, right? I got to have water. So I'm made of water. I also, if I take my hand, I hold it over my mouth and I breathe, I have this hot air inside of me. And so I have fire in my body, and I also have wind in my body. So that's where these 4 different types come from. Now, many of you maybe have taken a personality assessment before in the past, and I ask people all the time, what did you take? They say, oh, I took the Myers-Briggs. I said, what are your letters? And they're like, I don't remember. I don't remember. I think it was an EQRS. I don't know. I don't remember. And so you need something that's sticky. And so I'm teaching this to you really quickly because I want you to walk away with some solid content today. So the idea that you have Earth inside your physical form, this is a certain personality type. So if I think of the Earth, planet Earth, what words pop into your mind when I just think of planet Earth? Give me the adjectives. Okay, it's grounded. What?
Stability.
It's stable, right? Every morning I get up, I stick my feet out of the bed, there it is, it's reliable. So here's the first little metaphor for an Earth personality. This person appears to be still, like you're talking to them, their face doesn't change, it's like stone, right? But on the inside, they are spinning. Because the Earth is spinning, and they're thinking, all the time thinking, processing. The second metaphor is that planet Earth is structured. It has cycles and systems like the seasons and like the fact that you have the Piedmont area with pine trees and deer, but you go out to the desert and you're going to have cactus and coyotes. All of it changes, but everything has a structure and a system to it. And these people are very structured and systematic. And finally, these are the people that understand the gravity of every situation. So if you go into a situation in a business meeting and you put an idea out on the table like I do all the time, there's going to be one person in the group that is going to go, that won't work. Do they mean anything against me personally when they say that won't work? But where do most women go? Down the feeling scale. She doesn't like my idea. But that's not it. It's that this person understands the obstacle and the barrier immediately. And so you go to that person, instead of being offended, you say, why won't it work? and they'll start to tell you, and then you go back and you plan again and you get a better plan. The earth person will always structure, cycle you, and systemize you to be more efficient. And so you've got to have this chick on your team. The next person that we're going to talk about is a water. Now the water personality is really, these are the nice people. I love these people. The water people are the folks that are refreshing, okay? They are flexible, they seek the path of least resistance, and they smooth things out. You know that rock on the other page, the earth? If I take old craggy rock and I throw it in the water, how long before it starts to smooth out? A long time, but it will turn into a river rock, and then when I find it, I will take it out and take it home and put it on my dresser, right? Because these people know how to get the system running smoothly, and they are supportive. My favorite idea about a water personality is that if you took a little toy boat and you put it out on the ocean, and that little toy boat would get held up very easily by the water, correct? But you can also take an aircraft carrier and stick it out on the water, and the water just says, I got it. I got it. And you can just put more and more and more on the water, and they do it so gracefully. The third thing about a water is that they are detoxifying, cleansing, and purifying. These are the type of people that you don't tell bad jokes around. They come into a place and they find that there's disharmony, and they work silently and quickly to clean everything up. She didn't mean it what she said about your idea over there, and so it's going to be okay. And I'll just, can I get you some coffee? And they're just making everything great. These are the water people. Then you have the wind. That's my personal favorite because that happens to be me, right? Now, winds have a lot of words, and so when they think about their destiny, they think, I gotta do something that's, I get to blow hot air around. The first thing about a wind is it scatters, it pollinates, and carries a message. So, don't tell me something you don't want somebody else to know. The second thing is it's global. It's the only element that sees all the other elements. So here's why I have so many ideas, because I have a conversation with Tina. Tina says, I'm an HR executive, and I've started my own company, and I've been to Turkey, and I have a fabulous life. And I think, wow. And then I'm over here, talking to Janet. Janet's like, I go on cruises into Alaska and all these fabulous, I'm like, these two need to get together. I'm like connecting, I'm making it all happen. That's who I am. And you need me on the team because I'll make the networking happen. Now, the last thing is that it is bold and forceful. This can get a wind in trouble. However, what's really beautiful about this is if something must get done and everybody else thinks there's a hard, cold glass case in the way, I'm your girl. Because I'm going to find a crack, a crevice, I'm going to get around that sucker. It may be outside of the law, the rules, but I am going to get around it because I don't understand boundaries. I don't get it. And so there's a place for me on the team. And then finally we have fire.